Hi, this is Misha, and I've got the latest XL, well, not XL, but special edition large from Eaglemoss here. This is Voyager from Star Trek, the motion picture, 1979. In the film originally, this wasn't shown in its entirety. Not in one take or one shot. Rather, we saw parts of it at various times. And so, I had really no idea what this model would be. When they announced it, I wasn't sure if they were going to do the full big ship, or if they maybe would do the Voyager 6 probe inside it, which, by the way, would be in this kind of round spherical section here. Yeah, because not all round things are spheres, right? Anyway, you know what I mean. But as you see, they did the kind of sea life six-side symmetry vessel, and I had no idea what this looked like. So I was kind of interested to get this model, if for no other reason than to feel what Voyager looked like. And really, it's not an independent ship. The Voyager 6 probe is kind of the brain, and this is kind of an artificial life form in space. It's kind of a biomechanical creation. Size is a little hard to know on this ship. It was obviously large. The original Cloud in the motion picture was said to be 82 AU, which is ridiculous. So, in the director's cut, they edited it down to 2 AU, which is still massive. It's the size of Earth's orbit around the sun. So think about that. 2 AU would fit between where we're at right now and where we'll be this time 6 months later, including the sun. So it's a huge cloud. Now, once it dissipated and we saw the ship inside, this creature, obviously we're much longer than we are tall. There and again, the size, there's some discrepancy. Some put it at about 48 kilometers. Others just shy of 80. But still massive. And it's kind of a long thing, and we saw the reef at Enterprise here traveling through it. Obviously this is in no way to scale. I mean, it couldn't be. for this to be in scale with this, the thing would be longer than my table, which is about 8 foot. Even the shooting model they had for this in the studio was massive. So there's really no way to make this to scale. At least they did make it as a special, which meant they could make it larger. And so that's nice. So yeah, I know what it looks like now. It's interesting. So I can't say it's probably going to become one of my favorites, but I think it'll be something I like. I like the motion picture, so I like that it came from that. It's not my favorite, but it's by far not the worst. And the whole Voyager 6 story I definitely like. I like how in the motion picture, despite its many shortcomings, failings, it had that Star Trek feel. But there wasn't a villain. I mean, this was the big bad, but it turned out in the end not to be evil. It just was misguided and misunderstanding. So the way that movie ended was very Star Trek. So I liked it for that. Of course, this isn't a movie review. It's got a lot of nice detailing on this Eaglemoss model. There's little spikes here. You got these little fringes back here. You've got the front part as you saw. So a lot of detail. Most of this is, of course, polymer, with the metal being this sphere, which gives it nice weight. It's not really what I consider heavy, but it gives it a good little core and balance point. It also fits on the stand really nicely. It comes off very easily, as you see. And then it rests in this little cradle. And it lines up with one of the things. And while it has a little bit of rotation, it's very secure. I wish all the stands could be like this, where it holds it tightly. I mean, not tightly, but securely, but not tightly, so it's not going to mar the paint. And you can just pick it up, take it off, set it back down without worry. So yeah, just a first look. Neat model. Happy to know what Voyager looks like. There's a lot of lore and kind of added on mythology. What we know from the movie, Voyager 6, ostensibly, well, I mean, it went into what they call the black hole. And unless I'm mistaken, there's not a black hole in the solar system. So obviously it went deep space. It was supposedly launched in 1999. Obviously it would not have had warp drive. But it's, possible they assumed it would have more advanced propulsion. So anyway, it went out, went through a black hole, went clear across the galaxy, might have gone back in time, was found by machine people. Some people think they're the Borg. Other people think this started the Borg, but none of this is confirmed. Machine people built this ship for Voyager. It was heavily damaged when it went through space in the black hole. We don't know how long it had been floating in space. Could have been 100 years, more. I mean, if it had a nuclear power plant, which I'm sure it did, it could have legitimately remained active for 100 years. Or even gone inactive and reactivated. Anyway, it was worn. They recovered it. Since they were machine people, they essentially healed it, put it in hospital. Its memory was damaged. It had a lot of burns and whatnot. That's where the name Voyager comes from. I just have one question. Okay. The O and the Y from Voyager and the 6 were kind of marred, covered in soot and dust. Fine. The one thing is, how did the alien race know V-G-E-R would spell a word like Voyager? Just saying. How did they know? They could probably recognize the markings, but how did they know what the markings meant and how to pronounce them? Just kind of throwing that out there. It's like today, even with I can't talk, it's late. Hieroglyphics, we can, interpret them to a great degree, but actual living pronunciation is a guesswork. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Anyway, Voyager crossed through the galaxy, perhaps universe, obtaining data. Once it became full up and achieved sentience, it returned to Earth, and good times ensued. You've heard of adopted children seeking their original biological parents. That kind of puts this in a whole new perspective. But it all worked out in the end. So there we go. Well, based on comments, I guess I will have to start reminding people in the videos. I hate repeating myself, and I hate to make it a big deal because it's not, but I do my best on the whole videoing. I am blind. I don't know what you're actually seeing. The best way I can gauge if I'm pointing the right direction is to use my hands to, spatially orient and stuff. So, you get what you get. I do the best I can. But, hey, it's free, right? So, can't really expect to complain about free stuff. People will, but it's kind of silly. Notice there's no ads on this channel. There's no ads on the main Mishaco channel. And we've been at that quite a while. We don't really believe in ads. We still kind of believe in YouTube for fun and sharing of knowledge and passions and hobbies and all that good stuff. So yeah, appreciate you tuning in. If you could, like, share, and subscribe, and feel free to comment. And I will catch you very soon next time.